Too much sleeping?
I want some rest. Are we having fun yet?
All right, so you know that this is about Joshua Primo, and I'm playing the Josh fan. I don't care anymore, guys. I'm changing the whole name of this channel. I genuinely do not care because I absolutely love Josh Primo, and I really do believe in him. And you guys know this, okay? You know how I feel about him. I've been raving about him ever since early on last season, actually during the G League. And I was like, wow, there's a lot to his game that I did not know was there initially. And I was absolutely wrong with my initial reaction to us taking him. But to be real, I think this year was way better for me because I actually paid attention, did a plethora of videos on upcoming draft picks, draft prospects, that is. But I did not do that season. So it was really hard for me to have a really good take on Josh Primo when I didn't know who he was. You really can't have a take on someone that you don't know, but now I know, and I think that he is something serious. So I did come across this clip, posted on Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter, please. Can you do that? And I thought that this was actually pretty cool. Very quick, okay, 5-second clip, but you can see that your boy is putting in that work. I'm putting him on the big screen because he deserves it. Yep. I like that, bro. Honestly, the one thing about Josh Primo that he has that I think the other players on our team don't is he has a natural ability to create his own shot. Like, it's very natural. Thus far from what I've seen with the guys that we have right now, right? If I'm looking at Keldon Johnson, he's not really a create my own shot type of guy. Not necessarily, okay? Call him big body because he just bulldozes in the paint, and he also has a really nice catch and shoot game. But that's what he basically has. Devin Vassell, I think he has it in his arsenal, but he hasn't shown it a ton. But then again, he's kind of been in a position where him being like one of the best three-point shooters, or one of the better three-point shooters on the team, we had him playing more of a catch and shoot role. So we don't necessarily know if it's there. He has a decent pull-up game, but one thing that is good about Devin Vassell is honestly, he can shoot right over the top of you. So he doesn't need a lot of space. So if he did just kind of refine his pull-up game a little bit even more, or refine his shot creating ability, he's going to be A1, okay? But one thing about Josh Primo is I didn't have to get past one game before I could see it. You could see it in his very first G League game that is definitely there, that coaches want to bring that out of him. Now, one thing that a lot of people have talked about, and I'm going to say this, let me go and give like Spurs fans a lot of credit. I've been seeing more and more Spurs fans get hype about Joshua Primo because it's been on and off. And I'm going to be doing, I don't know when that's going to be posted, but look out for it, a reaction in which someone sent me something on Twitter, and I think it might have been Locked on Spurs that was talking about Popovich or something, and I did hear a clip of it, and from what I was listening to, it made it seem as if they don't really believe in Josh Primo, or don't necessarily believe in anybody in this upcoming season, that they're going to be great other than maybe Keldon. But I don't know. Like I said, I haven't recorded it yet, so we'll wait and see what the reaction is there. But overall, okay, overwhelmingly, it seems as if a lot of people are pretty excited for Josh Primo, and that wasn't really how it was initially. A lot of people were just kind of doom-pilled and a downer on the entire thing. But honestly, one thing about Josh Primo that I've noticed, and just don't take my word for it, okay? How about you just take the word of a 5-time winning coach, a coach that has the most wins in basketball history. No one in basketball has as many wins as this man, obviously, Coach Pop. And Coach Pop has been high on Josh Primo ever since we got him. Oftentimes, Popovich, when you get a rookie, he's kind of slow to give a lot of praise. Like, he wants to kind of feel you out a little bit. He doesn't want to just fill up your ego. But Pop has praised Josh Primo basically any chance that he's gotten. Anytime that Josh Primo's brought up, he's been able to sit back and compliment him. And I think the reason being is because of his maturity level. He knows that Josh Primo isn't going to get ahead of himself. He knows that he's going to keep himself grounded. And I'm just going to assume, from what we know of his family, he has a really nice foundation there. Even being 19, he's a walking adult. Like, he seems like a 35-year-old veteran the way he talks. But yeah, I don't know if you guys recall this. This is a few months back. This is back in January 5th. in which Pop said that he did want to throw Josh Primo in the pot. So if I could really do what I wanted to do and didn't care about anything else in the world, I'd throw him in the frying pan like we did Tony Parker. Tony was 19, but the difference was Tony played a couple of years against grown men in the European leagues before he came over. One other thing I like to bring up, and this isn't the first time I brought this up, but Josh Primo playing in the G League, a lot of people, quite a few, okay, it was quite a few, actually judged him quite a bit from his summer league performance in game 2, in which he had COVID. Obviously we knew this, we eventually knew this, but when you judge him based on that and say he needs to be at this level as a second-year player, a lot of his time was over at the G League. He played a lot in the G League, coming back and forth. But another thing too is, if you go back and you look at his statistics at the G League, it's better than the 8th overall pick this year, Dyson Daniels, who everyone is praising, and me personally, you know I love me some Dyson Daniels. Josh Primo's stats were better, and when he performed against him, he was better. He actually made Dyson Daniels look bad. So with that, oh, thanks for subscribing. I really need to turn that off when I'm recording. I'm sorry. But if you go back and look at him go against Dyson Daniels, he actually made Dyson Daniels look pretty bad. So with that in mind, look at Josh Primo as like a top 6, more than likely would have been a top 5, top 6 pick if the Spurs wouldn't have taken him, or if we didn't take him, if he didn't enter the draft last season. This season, he would have been a top 5, top 6, maybe top 7, but more than likely his stats, if you compare him to Dyson Daniels, he would have been like a top 5 pick. So that he is legit. Okay, the Spurs got really lucky with this one, and when they scout somebody, they scout hard. Okay, they rarely miss. There's very few times that they miss on scouting reports. So anyways, that's besides the point. All I'm trying to say is Josh Primo, I really do think that he's legitimate, and I did want to show this because I don't know if you guys remember this. But Josh Primo got yelled at by Pop, and we talked about that before. But I just genuinely like this interaction. And Pop does this with everybody, don't get me wrong, but I think he does have a special love for Josh Primo. And this is him just basically coaching him up. Actually, I'll turn the music down. Hopefully you can hear it. It's really hard to hear, but let's go ahead and play it.
327 feet,
Yeah, but Josh Primo is very coachable. I just want to show that he's very, very coachable. But yeah, dude, I'm actually stupid excited for it. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm gonna keep praising Primo, only because I'm not saying that this season he comes in and becomes a superstar or anything. I just think that he's really gonna pan out. I like him a lot. There's not one thing, and I'm gonna keep saying this, there's not one thing about his game I dislike right now. All he needs is reps. All he needs is time, and I think that he's gonna be legit. But that is the big difference between him and how I felt about Lonnie Walker. It's like, I love Lonnie Walker, but the mentality, the inconsistency, the lack of aggression at times, it was like that with every single player just about. The same thing with Derek White. You guys know I love Derek White, but it was a caveat. It was like, he doesn't have the confidence. But Josh Primo, there's nothing there. There's nothing there that I sit back and I'm like, oh, I'm worried about this. No, not really. He just needs reps. When people say, well, what about some of these turnovers? It's like, he's a kid, but at the same time, there's so much more to love about his game. He's mature. He can play on both ends of the court. He's a good facilitator. He has a nice shooting stroke. He can create his own shot. He can do basically everything, and he has sneaky athleticism. There's a lot to love here. And while I'm looking at this team and I'm looking at the guy who has the most potential, and not only the guy that has the most potential, he is a Spur, and sometimes we don't get, or he doesn't get the amount of love that I think that he deserves. But credit to Spurs fans, it seems like a lot more people are getting hype about it. More people are pretty excited for it. So, and I think it should. I think it should go down. Okay, I think there's merit there. So I know a lot of people look at the stats right now and say, well, statistically, he's not. Well, bro, he was back and just contextualize. Right, he's back and forth. He wasn't really implemented into a lot of the plays that we were doing this season. The Spurs basically told him, hey, come in, sit in the corner, or, you know, sit at the wing, don't necessarily do a lot. We're not asking a lot of you. But as the season went on, near the end of the season, he took more of a facilitation role. But the Spurs have bought into him. I said this before I'm not trying to just like toot my own horn, but toot, that was lame. That was so lame. I'm sorry. But I said this before, when the Spurs had him basically represent the new sponsorship, I said, look, this looks as if the San Antonio Spurs want to go in the direction of Josh Primo, and they believe that he could eventually be the face of the Spurs. I thought that was a big deal, and not too long after, they did not mind letting DJ go ahead and go. So, look, I just want you guys to love him as much as I do. And it seems like a lot of Spurs fans do now. But yeah, that's all I had to say about it. Oh, and by the way, guys, I forgot to bring it up. Silly old me. Who's going to advertise if I don't do it? If you guys want to support the channel, I got a few more. Okay. They're really close to being sold out. So we'll see what happens, but don't worry. I'm gonna bring some more, so it's no big deal. I'm gonna have more on the site, but just letting you guys know it's there if you want to go support and help your boy out. So but Clan the Merch Fan, by the way, that's the website, Clan the Merch Fan, link in the description for that. I'll give it to you guys later. Thanks for the love. Until next time, deuces.